Okay, so I'm starting my cornbread dressing, and I have right here, I have my turkey necks. I don't have any of the livers or anything like that because I didn't have a whole turkey, so I just have necks, which still should be fine. Now I'm going to chop up my vegetables. So I normally use a whole celery stalk and just kind of cut off the ends. And I'm going to cut this up and add this to my pot. And I leave everything on here, including the leaves. So that goes into my pot. All this goes in here. Okay, and then I have my onions right here. So I'm going to throw those in because I already pre-cut those. And then you can see right here, what I'm going to do is add the chicken broth. I'm going to have 48 ounces. So I'm going to cover this. And if I need to cover it some more, I'm going to add some water. Which should be totally fine because if it boils down, then you have to continue to add water until you're done with your cooking time. So I'm adding my stock. Okay, and then one thing I kind of forgot, which I usually add the ends of my green onion in this pot. So I'm going to go grab my green onions and then chop the end off and then add them to my pot so it can have some extra flavor. Okay, so I have my green onions, and I normally just chop off the root end and then use this end of my pot. So I'm going to add this to my actual broth. I'm going to boil this for 2 hours, and then after it's done, that means that the turkey necks meat, the meat should be falling off the bone. And usually after that, I also use the broth. This also goes in the cornbread. So I mix this all up together because the vegetables are going to be super, super soft. So I'll peel the meat off, and then I add it to it. And so I'll show you that step. Okay, so boiling in this pot is my sweet potatoes, and I have all of my sweet potatoes for both my sweet potato pie and my yam casserole, or sweet potato casserole, whatever you want to call it. The reason why I'll boil them is because usually when you just peel them and you cook them and you try to blend them and put them in your sweet potato pie, you end up with a lot of strings in there, and that's what you don't want. You want a creamy sweet potato pie. And then also too, this is just killing two birds with one stone, because usually I just boil my sweet potatoes, cut them up real good, put my sauce on it, and then I also put the marshmallows and put them in the oven. It's still good that way, and it doesn't turn out mushy. It turns out really good. So if you boil them just right, you should get a right texture and a right consistency for both the sweet potato pie and the sweet potato casserole. So that's what I do with that. So my sweet potatoes are just about done, and I removed about 3 sweet potatoes from the pot because these are the ones that I'm actually going to make the yams with, the yam casserole. And the reason why I did that is because I didn't want them to get as soft as I need the sweet potato pie to be. So I removed these so that way they can start cooling down, and what I'm going to do is just pull the skin off just like that. And that's the stringy part on the skin side that you don't want. I have the rest of the sweet potatoes in here that I'm going to use for the pie, and as you can see, hopefully, that my fork goes right through them. So they're almost done, and then I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see. But as you can see there, the fork is going right through them. They're almost done, so that way I can remove them from the pot, cool them, and then put them in the blender to blend them together with the ingredients to make the pie. Okay, in here I have about 2 pounds of sweet potatoes, and this is the sweet potato that I boiled and peeled for my sweet potato pie. So I'm going to add my ingredients, mix everything up, and add it to my pie crust. So to here, and I don't normally measure a lot of this, I kind of just do it by eye, but for the wet ingredients I measure. So 1 cup of milk, I'm gonna add that in there. And then I'm gonna add 2 cups of sugar. So because I'm making 2 pies, I'm doubling the ingredients. And it may seem like a lot of sugar, but it's a dessert. It's sweet potato pie. And then I'm gonna add 4 eggs. And then I'm gonna add in a little bit of my vanilla. So that's about a tablespoon. I'm gonna use all of this cinnamon here and then eyeball it, because then I may want to add a little bit more cinnamon in it depending on the look of it. And here's my nutmeg. Okay. And now, after I got my ingredients in there, I'm going to add my top. This is my Ninja. Add my top. Put this on. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah, and I'm like all over the place. So, okay. So, okay.
What is that?
It's a blender.
Let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
blending.
I'm blending, yes.
You gonna do it again?
Yes, just watch it. Okay, and so now I'm going to add my 2 sticks of butter. I just wanted to get everything blended in there. So, and this is about a 1/2 cup.
Blending machine.
So
Mom, but that'll work.
Yeah. Reattach my cap. And blend some more. Okay.
You okay? It's not gonna hurt but your finger. Is it? You can do that?
It's okay.
Hurt your finger?
It's okay.
Want to do something?
Mm-hmm.
You want that?
Mm-hmm.
Someone has this.
No, you can't have that. Okay, so this is about the consistency that you want.
Don't do it faster to slow.
Yeah, shh. Okay, go sit over there. 5 minutes.
I want to watch.
Okay, you gotta watch quietly. Okay, so now I got 2 pie crust. And here, usually I get deep dish because I tend to make a lot of the filling, so it normally is enough for a deep dish pie. So I'm gonna fill these 2 pie crusts up, and then be careful not to fill it up too much because they do puff up and expand as they cook. So here you put these in the oven for about about 55 to 60 minutes, 350 degree oven. And be sure to put it on top of a actual either baking pan or cookie sheet, so that way that it's a lot easier to take out of the oven and you can actually hold a little bit of weight underneath, because it does get a little bit heavy, and these tins under here, aluminum pie pans,
That smells good.
these aluminum pie pans are normally, okay. These aluminum pie pans normally don't hold a lot of weight underneath. Okay, so I got my pie in the oven. This is the very last thing that I'm gonna do tonight because it's the day before Thanksgiving. It is about 11:20 p.m. and I am extremely tired, but I got my pies in the oven again, and then I have my meat that I'm actually going to marinate. This is my turkey, and I'm only doing the breast and the drumsticks. So this I did a couple of nights ago, just so that way it's a breast I can get really good flavor in it. And I injected it, and I have it actually in this bag that has all of the seasoning, so hopefully you can see that. So that's what this looks like. Okay, so this is a close-up shot of the actual turkey breast that I've been marinating, and it has a lot of flavors on there. Oh, that looks so yummy. This is what I'm going to fry. So I'm going to fry this turkey breast, and I'm also going to fry my my turkey drumsticks. And I'm going to show you how I did the breast by doing the drumsticks, because again, the breast I wanted to marinate a little bit more so the flavors can be in actually in the meat, and it can have really good flavor. The drumstick is not going to take me very long, but I'll show you how I did that part, the actual drumsticks. So make a little bit of an adjustment so you can see. Okay, so I'm going to put this back, tie this back up, move this to the side, and all over here I have my seasonings, and then here I actually have what is the injector that has the Creole butter sauce that's in here. Hopefully you can see this. So this is what I'm going to inject with in the turkey drumsticks, and I'm going to season it up. So first I'm just wearing a glove because this is the hand that I'm going to use to actually manipulate the drumsticks, and there's no rhyme or reason of what I'm about to do. I'm just putting the flavor inside and injecting the drumstick, so however it's going to turn out, I don't have any type of way that I do this. I do this differently each and every time, so it'll be okay. Okay, so just gonna stick it in there, and probably in my drumsticks 3 times in each drumstick, maybe 4 depending on where I am, and then I'll do it a little bit this way. So and then maybe one more time. I want this good in there. So I did a whole, I would say, whatever one of these things, and then I'm going to fill it back up. And sorry to all my vegan and vegetarians. My family eats meat, so yeah, we're gonna eat meat. Okay, so after I'm done, if I have a little bit of this, I'm just gonna pour the rest over here, just like that. And now what I'm gonna do is apply my seasonings. So I'm gonna start with my Creole seasoning first. Get that all good in there. I'm going to use this to turn. Okay. And then next I'm going to add my salt. I need a little bit of salt in there. And don't worry about it. It's going to be good and delicious. Not too much salt, okay? And then this is thyme, so I'm gonna add some of that in there. I love thyme. It's my favorite. Okay. Add some thyme. Alright. And then a little bit of rosemary leaves. Okay, just a little bit. Some onion salt. And garlic powder. Or onion powder, shall I say. I don't really like onion salt and onion or garlic salt. I don't like those. So, okay, so now that I got these all together, I'm probably going to add a little bit more of this just to get a really good coating. Okay, because this is not too salty at all. So once I got all of my drumsticks, take off my glove.